Okay, you guys, what is up? This is OJ Senpai here today to review One Piece episode 640. Okay, so this episode One Piece was actually okay. It's actually an alright episode, but I'm gonna get through the basics first, and then we're gonna head on into the episode. First of all, basics, pacing, pacing, animation, and story progression. Pacing, I'm gonna give it a good rating because the pacing was good, except for when it came to the Coliseum thing. Like they panned into the Coliseum, and then like you see a bunch of these gladiators that aren't really that important. I think it was like for 30, 45 seconds. So the pacing, it was good for the most part, except for that part. Yeah, when you come into the Coliseum, so I'm gonna give it a rating of good. Animation was actually all right. It's actually fairly solid. Uh, Except for that part where you saw Robin, she was walking through Greenbit, and Robin, she's really beautiful. So I mean, I expected to animate her well, but and they did that for the most part in this episode. But what happened is that when she was walking, she looked kind of weird. Like the animation was like off a little bit there. I just noticed it. I was like, oh my god. So, um, yeah, please animate her beautiful, please. But basically, that's when it comes to animation, I'm gonna give that okay plus. It was okay plus animation. And when it comes to story progression, I'll give that a great because we are now heading into Block C. We finally entered into Greenbit and we saw these dwarves, aka fairies. Sanji is having his own business with Violet. So basically, yeah, the story progression, I'm gonna give that a great. It's great story progression. So overall, that's good. Yeah, that's good overall when it comes to the basics. Now, when it comes to the episode, I can divide it into three parts. First part being the whole fairy confrontation. Second being the whole thing with Luffy and Jinzhao, and the third thing being Sanji and Violet. So let's get into the whole fairy thing. Uh, we find out apparently what the fairies actually are, and according to Robin, they aren't really fairies. They're more like dwarves slash little people, whatever you want to call them. And when they're on Greenbit, basically we see Law and his group. They talk about how the Marines are on the island, but they're not net, but they don't haven't seen them yet. All they see is like Navy ships and all around this place. And basically, we now know that Caesar Clown, since he is technically a subordinate of Don Quixote Doflamingo, and because Doflamingo relinquished his Shichibukai title, and as such, uh, and as such, he loses all his protection from the government. Not only that, Caesar Clown loses the small little bit of protection that he had because technically he said, "I'm working for Dr. Doflamingo and I'm wanted. So if the Marines find me, I'm screwed." So, and of course, this also goes for the same for Doflamingo because once the Marines see him, he's screwed as well. So that I thought that was pretty interesting. Now, when it comes to the whole dwarf thing, we see these dwarves ransack these navy dudes, and they just take all of their clothes, their guns, and basically the dwarves ask the Marines, "Are you good people or are you bad people?" And the Marines obviously are going to say that they're good people. You know, we protect citizens. However, we have a job and we can't give you what you want. And what they want is weapons and guns, like basically stuff like that, in compensation for them being on the island. So the dwarves basically just ransack the navy dudes, and basically they're all running and like away and stuff. And Usopp and Robin are all seeing this going down. So Robin catches one of them and she basically says, "Oh, it's a little person, aka a dwarf, whichever one you want." So when it comes to that, I like that a lot because we see Greenbit. It looks like the Amazon, like on steroids though, like and stuff like that. So I think that's pretty good. When it comes to the fairy confrontation with Zoro, Zoro finds out who stole a sword. She's a dwarf named Wicca, and I believe one second. believe Wicca's a girl. Yeah, Wicca has to be a girl. And she is a member of the scouting unit of the Tontata tribe. So apparently these dwarves are in this kind of group, this society called the Tontata tribe. If what we've seen so far with Robin capturing a dwarf named Kabu-san, well, Kabu, and Wicca, they're probably all in the same tribe. So she apparently is a member of the scouting unit, and she was getting intel on the Don Quixote family. And apparently, according to her, the Don Quixote family is actually sending out members to attack the Sunny and the Straw Hats that are under. And so Zoro's like, "Yo, I gotta bail. I gotta go to protect the Sunny." little, little did he forget, he has a bad sense of direction, and so he needs the help of Wicca to get him to the Sunny and get him. And apparently, she needs to go to the flower field to talk to her commander first. So I thought that was pretty funny. You see Zoro basically being Zoro, him being badass in the fight, but however, he has no sense of direction. And we actually see Wicca's strength. Now, according to Ichiro Oda, and this is for the people who read the manga, but Ichiro Oda stated that apparently within this arc, there's going to be a new type of species that is revealed. Now, the toys on the island aren't necessarily species, at least as far as we know. I could be wrong. There could be like actual species, but according to Ichiro Oda, we're gonna see like a new species of yeah, like basically on Dressrosa. It may be these dwarves, but it could also be the toys. But I'm pretty sure yeah, it's the dwarves. And we all know, and the manga readers know, yeah, it's pretty much the dwarves that's the new species so far. And basically, she uses her strength apparently. Like the dwarves, apparently all of them are strong because when Wicca hit the ground repeatedly with her fists, she was able to bring down a building. These dudes are building level. That's insane, and they're that small too. Like I'm pretty sure like this big somewhere in like a Smurf kind of, but this big. So that's actually pretty impressive. And Wicca, she's just all mad at herself because she told all of the secrets to Zoro and stuff. I'm like, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Probably her gag. And basically they're just heading to the flower field first, and then afterwards they're gonna help out the Sunny with the whole Don Quixote problem. So overall, the whole fairy confrontation thing, I liked it a lot. We did see this new species, and I'm like, okay, that's pretty damn cool. So when it comes to the next part, which is Luffy, well, this is basically just Chinjao ranting again how he's gonna beat Luffy's ass. Um, we go to the Coliseum, and like I said before, they pan into it with like some OST playing in the background, and basically it's like these just fodder gladiators just talking and stuff. And we see Chinjao. Chinjao's getting really mad because Black Sea's happening, and Luffy's fighting in Black Sea. He's like, "Oh, Straw Hat, because of what your grandfather Garp did, I'm gonna take you out. You're just that gong signifies your death." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, Luffy." I mean, is Chinjao gonna be a challenge for Luffy? Probably, because I mean he has like a bounty of over 500 million. I mean you can't have that and say you're a scrub. And then we see Luffy. Luffy's just hiding, and then he says, "Man, that dude's a pain in the butt." And then we just head on into Block C apparently. So that I thought was pretty damn cool. When it came to the final part with Violet and Sanji, bro, this this part I don't know what to say. I really don't. I mean, like I know a lot of people are Sanji fanboys. They always want to defend Sanji, when Sanji does something. And I'm not gonna say I hate Sanji. I don't. I like his character, but it's like I just don't know. Like I just can't explain it. Like it's not annoyance. It's not anger. It's just like why? Like why would you do this? But we see that Violet apparently is working for the Don Quixote family. She has she's on Memory. She has the Glare fruit, aka the Giro Giro no Mi, and she can basically see into people's minds, hearts, skeletons, anything, and which is a really hacks power. And she's doing this to get intel on Trafalgar Law and Luffy and the rest of the Straw Hats and the whole alliance deal. But when she peeps into Sanji's mind, she sees that all this perverted stuff. She's like, "Oh my gosh, that's so terrible! What?" And then she's just like all tripping out and stuff. But because she didn't really think that Sanji was that perverted, even though she knew technically that Sanji, when it comes to women, he has a soft spot, but his soft spot's pretty damn large. And who knows what she saw in there, man? Like it's Sanji. Sanji's like a perfect times 10. But what I can say is basically we see Sanji. He talks about how, oh, when you told me to kill this person, you were actually being really serious. I know you can tell their truth. No matter how many times people accuse you, I will never disbelieve a woman when she's crying. And I'm like, I mean, that's noble. I think that's pretty cool. But it's like, I guess it's Sanji's character and how it is. But what I can say about that is that we see Violet. She changes in her character a little bit. She see her. She's crying. So it actually. So what Sanji is saying might actually be true. And so that's basically the end of the episode. Now, what happens with that? Will she help Sanji? We don't know for sure. But overall, I'm gonna give this episode good. This is a good episode of One Piece, so good is a rating. Like the video if you like it. Dislike it if you don't. Rate, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys later. I'm OG Senpai, and I'm out. Peace, guys.